I needed to taste the rainbow. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am back from vacation. Thank you so much again for your patience. I did take a week off from recording again last week, but yeah, I'm back, fully relaxed, fully recharged. So happy as always to be sitting down, chatting, knitting, quilting, or whatever other rabbit hole I happen to be diving down. Yeah, I think we reached the end of summer shenanigans, and we can get on with sweater weather, with Halloween, my friends. Tomorrow, at the time that I'm recording this, it is September 30th, 2022, and tomorrow is the first day of October. I am so stoked, guys. If you're new here, hello, welcome to my channel. But if you haven't gathered already, Halloween is my favorite holiday. I look forward to it every year, with the exception of the past 2 years where, three years, I don't know, the days, they just blend together because pandemic, moving, it's been a whirlwind. Let's be honest. But yeah, Halloween just really didn't happen for me because of all the things that were happening. But this year, my friends, this year is the year that I am fully embracing Halloween. I am dressing up. I am making my costume. I know I've stated that I was kind of over sewing garments for myself, but for Halloween, I can make it happen. But again, a little more on that later. In the meantime, I have quite a bit of things to catch you up on as far as knitting. But before I get into all that, I'm trying to think, any announcements? Nope. I think we're good. Before I get into what projects we're working on, shall we talk about what Margot the mannequin, my lovely assistant, is wearing? She's wearing the Shawlography shawl, which was a mystery knit along by Stephen West that I partook in. And yeah, again, I'm really apprehensive to partake in mystery knit alongs just because I like to know what I'm getting myself into, because I'm sure you can agree that knitting is an investment of time, money, energy, and to knit something, spend all that time on it, and not like what you end up with, it's kind of a letdown, I'll be honest. But that's just my personal brand of crazy. But for this one, I don't know, I was in the mood for an adventure. I needed something to distract me from the moving craziness that we were going through at the time. And yeah, I seriously cannot believe it's been a year since we began this whole moving journey, I guess you want to call it. We haven't been living here for a whole year. I want to say it's been 6 to 8 months that we've been living here already. Crazy sauce. I don't know where the time goes, but a year ago today, maybe a little bit more than a year ago, we started looking for a new place to live. We put our house on the market and started the ball rolling. And this pattern right here, I can never remember the name of it, Shawlography. The Shawlography shawl certainly came to my rescue because it just held my attention so much. Just every clue, it was entertaining. At the end of the day, do I like the finished object? I'm not gonna lie, it's not my favorite, especially the border that Stephen West included. Again, your mileage may vary. The original pattern had like these diagonal stripes, and I really wasn't digging it. So I swapped out the border for another border that he used in the Smock It shawl, and I'm so happy I did that. While I probably won't be getting a lot of wear out of this pattern, I do like the way that it looks aesthetically. It's more aesthetically pleasing to me. But at the end of the day, it was a pleasure to work on. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was there for me when I needed it. So this in my opinion was a happy knit, and I have nothing bad to say about it. I do love Stephen West patterns. But when it comes to mystery knit-alongs, yeah, if I don't know what I'm getting myself into, and I don't have control over where the colors are going to be placed. Although, as you know, I also recently knit the Miss May MCal by Helen Stewart. She's a shoo-in. It's like I know what I'm getting myself into. I know her aesthetic. Occasionally she'll throw a curveball, but for the most part, she has a clear aesthetic. I know what I'm getting myself into, and I know for sure that I'm going to love the finished object. So that was that was a cakewalk for me. I had no problem joining in on that MCAL and so glad that I did. But I think going forward, unless I find myself in another situation like I did, you know, where there's so much craziness happening, typically I will avoid mystery knit-alongs. But anyway, that, my friends, is what Margot the Mannequin's wearing. As far as yarn, it is a medley of sorts. Let me go get her. As per usual, it is a Schlanket. It's huge. And yeah, lots happening in here. We've got some baubles, we've got some welts, we've got some slip stitches, we've got these little ring dings over here. It's crazy sauce, my friends. But at the same time, I love it. There's even some brioche. And as you can see here, here's the Smock It border that, yeah, I think just works so well. But yeah, as for yarn, I did a little stash diving. So this was kind of a stash buster piece. We have some hedgehog fibers in her urchin colorway, which is easily one of my favorite hedgehog fibers. It's not overkill. It's a cream white with subtle speckles of plum, hot pink. It's lovely. And then I threw in some of my own colorways, Voolenvine yarns on my Nouveau base. Honestly, I'm blanking. These are colorways that I dyed, I don't know, a couple years ago that let me see. I think one is Whisper and this one might actually be Rochester. So yeah, I included Rochester in there. One of my favorite colorways that I dye. Skein Queen, which is an indie dyer from the UK. And I picked this skein up at the Edinburgh Yarn Festival. Trying to think when. I think my second trip to the Edinburgh Yarn Festival, I picked it up, which was like probably 4 or 5 years ago. Can't believe it's been that long, but a really beautiful colorway. I don't even know the name of it, but it's this beautiful like silky mohair blend, super soft. I think there might even be some Angora in there. Yeah, there are even some baubles over here, and then let me see what else. Yes, I had been coveting this skein of La Bien-Aimée called Drago in my stash, and it's just this really lovely gothic gray purple with shots of magenta speckles in there and brown. Just a really, really pretty colorway that I'm so glad I was finally able to use. So yes, that is my Shawlography shawl. Guys, the names. Let's see how it looks on. I could see this getting a lot of wear in the winter. I mean, it's cozy, it's a Schlanket, but for the most part, I don't know, guys. I really don't know. It's a little too wackadoodle for me. But, it was a super fun knit. And, if you need something stimulating to knit on and keep your hands busy and hold your attention, this might be your jam. So, yes, let's put this back on Margot the Mannequin, shall we? All right, works in progress. To be honest, I have not put a dent in my Travel Mode 2.0 shawl. I patterned by Sosu Knits, who's also Suzanne Summer. Yeah, as I mentioned, I went away on vacation, and I was hoping to bring that along because, as the name suggests, Travel Mode, I was traveling. Why didn't I bring it with? Well, where is it? Hello. So again, I did not put a dent in it since I last shared it with you. But yeah, the point at which I'm very far along in it already. It's grown exponentially. And yeah, oops, maybe I shouldn't have smushed it into the project bag because now it looks a little wrinkled, but oh well, it'll block out. Because we were only going away for 2.5 days, we ended up going to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. 2.5 days. I wanted to pack light, and this was certainly not going to fit into my carry-on. So, I was like, I'll leave it behind. And it was kind of last minute that I was packing it, so I kind of panicked. And when I panic and I don't know what to bring along with me, usually I go for a sock. I'll just go stash diving, find some sock yarn, and bring a sock along with me. So that is exactly what I did. Went stash diving, pulled out this lovely skein of Patons Kroy sock effects in the copper tones colorway. Really, really beautiful. So yeah, this has just been sitting in my stash, and I was like, it's sock yarn. I grabbed some needles, cast on in the taxi ride to the airport. I knit the cuff, knit a little bit of the leg, and then about midway into my vacation, I take it out of my project bag and realize my needles, they broke. Yeah, I mean, Murphy's Law. I mean, it serves me right because honestly, the lesson learned here, the teachable moment is that wooden needles don't travel well. So, next time, pro tip, if you are traveling, bring metal needles instead of wooden needles, or at least bring a backup pair, because you never know what's going to happen. Here's a close-up of it. Yeah, there was no saving it at all. And these, in case you're wondering, these were a pair of Lykke Driftwood needles. They were fixed, not the interchangeables. I truly enjoy working with Lykke needles. They're aesthetically pleasing, they're nice to photograph, but they also feel really nice in the hands. But I don't know, I honestly do not know what happened. Did the wood wear down, or who knows? They broke at the end of the day and I wasn't able to finish knitting on the sock. Thankfully, I brought a smutty romance novel along with me to fill the knitting void, so not all was lost. But yeah, anyway. Now that I'm home, I could easily swap out the needles and continue on, but truth be told, that will not be happening. No, my friends, I know, you're probably like, what? Why don't you just finish them? Because, I'm not really a sock knitter. I will be honest with you. I knit socks. When I do knit socks, I do it to keep my hands busy, but I truly just don't enjoy wearing socks, to be honest. I don't enjoy wearing them. Also, I really don't enjoy caring for socks. I know. Blasphemy. It's terrible. I know. Even if the yarn says that it's superwash, you can chuck it in the wash and everything and lay things flat to dry, but after a couple tumbles in the washing machine, you start to notice that your socks fade. The colors fade, they start to shrink, they start to felt. So, really when a yarn says that it's superwash, there is a certain amount of care that you have to put into it. For example, I would always err on the side of hand washing and laying flat to dry, but as a person who just truly doesn't have, I do have time to do laundry, obviously, but I just don't have time to hand wash every single pair of sock that I own and I've knit. It gets to a point where I'm just like, this is madness. I'm the type of person that just chucks their socks in the wash, and if they end up in the dryer, so be it. I'm not too precious about my socks. But that being said, my hand knit socks have a very short lifespan. So it's unfortunate, and because of that, I'm just like, why bother? Again, your mileage may vary. There are sock knitters out there that love to knit socks, and they care dearly for their socks, and they go on to live long, happy sock lives. I'm just not that person. So, that said, I am actually going to unravel this and repurpose the yarn. And actually, I did purchase this yarn with another plan in mind. I was hoping to use this yarn in a Jennifer Steingast pullover, and I'm not sure which pattern exactly. She has so many really beautiful colorwork patterns. But if you are, she uses a lot of Spincycle yarns. Which I will talk about in a little bit. I look at Spincycle as an investment yarn because, yeah, they hand dye all of their wool and they run a mill, and every skein is a work of art, and I'm not surprised that they charge the prices that they charge. But sometimes, you're on a budget and you want to spend a little less. So I found that Patons Kroy Socks Effects is a really nice alternative, like if you want to spend less, because I think one of these skeins can't be more than $5 US. So you can buy it on Amazon. I'll link to it down below. But it has very similar properties to Spincycle in that it has this really cool marled gradient effect. You're not going to get the crazy random color, color shifts that you get with Spincycle, but you do get a similar effect. I believe this is a fingering sock weight yarn, and I'm not sure if they make worsted weight. I'll have to double check that, or sport weight. But again, if you have a pattern that calls for fingering weight yarn, definitely look into Patons Kroy Socks Effects. Not sponsored. That will be the fate of this sock. A long way of saying that. There you go. Speaking of Spincycle, did I share this on the last episode? I'm not sure I did. I know I shared it with members over in my Monday Waffle bonus vlog, which, by the way, I know. I'm going to pause for a quick shameless plug because I no longer run ads. Instead, this channel is sponsored by viewers like you. So if you would like to support this channel and the work that I do here, you can do that by becoming a member of this channel and clicking the join button down below this video or on the main channel page. And for a monthly fancy schmancy cup of coffee, you can enjoy some bonus content from yours truly, including the Monday Waffle, which is a weekly bonus vlog where I chat about what I got up to over the weekend, life-wise, craft-wise, share my creative process. By becoming a member, you can also gain access to our private Facebook group where you can chat with other members, share what you're working on, and partake in make-alongs and knit-alongs. It's a really fun place to be, and I should mention that these perks are for members of the A Cup of Something tier and higher. If you don't need the perks and just want to support this channel, there is a tier for that as well. Either way, even if you don't become a member, I'm just so happy that you're here. So happy. And yeah, it just means the world that, you know, there are those of you out there who do want to help me keep the lights on with this channel and keep the ball rolling and support whatever it is I do here, because it's a full-time job, but it's a lot of fun. And if you're already a member, thank you so very much. It does truly mean the world. And yeah, so all right, what was I about to chat about? Yes, my Spincycle project. This is a new cast on and something that has been in my Ravelry queue since it was published not too long ago. I think it was published in May. It's called the Easy V Pullover by Caitlin Hunter, one of my favorite knitwear designers. Truly, anything that she puts out, I'm just like, I need to cast it on. I mean, totally my aesthetic. Anyway, as you know, in my last episode, I mentioned that I was in a slump, whatever you want to call it. And, you know, I was just, my knitting mojo, my making mojo, I needed something just to kind of spark something in me, if that makes any sense. And this seemed like the project to do it. So, you know, I treated myself. I splurged on some Spincycle yarns. I got some other yarn for the main color. I've made quite a bit of progress on it so far. Yeah, this thing is so awesome. And truth be told, a little out of my comfort zone, because can we talk about this yellow gold happening in here? Yeah, this was a risk, my friends. I was a little on the fence about incorporating it just because gold, I mean, I just knit the Fiola, which is a golden mustard colorway. It's a little more subdued and mellow compared to this bright yellow happening in here, but seeing the colors together, I could not help myself. So into the sweater it went. I'll hold it up so you can see. So this is actually the shoulder right here. The construction of this pullover is actually really clever. And again, it's called the Easy V because I gather your thoughts, Kristen. My goodness. Guys, it's so funny because sometimes my brain goes faster than my mouth can talk and vice versa. So I don't know if you've noticed, but my videos can be a little choppy. That's editing. Sometimes I have to pause and let my words catch up with my thoughts. So yeah, I don't know. I'm working on it, guys, but it is what it is, and we gotta work around it, make it work. But that's what's going on there. Anyway, what was I talking about? Ah, yes, the construction of the sweater, V-neck sweaters in particular. Truth be told, I have never knit a V-neck sweater. It's definitely something that I want to tackle in the future, and you know, I still can't believe that I've never made one. But from what I've heard, V-neck sweaters are knit flat. So the shoulder parts are knit flat, back and forth until you hit the V point, and then if the pattern calls for it, you can join in the round. But this pattern is knit entirely in the round, which I greatly appreciate. And she just has you do all these, she has you increase at certain points around the neckline, so it creates this V shape. I mean, you can't really see it here because it's still kind of in blob form, but I did actually try it on. I took the sweater off the needles, put the stitches on a scrap piece of yarn, tried it on, as the pattern actually suggests. Because for some, depending on the size of your bust, the yoke may not end where you want it to. So if you try it on and you don't like where it ends, you can continue knitting before separating for the sleeves. So I tried it on. I actually really like the way it looks, so I'm just going to continue knitting onto the sleeves, or separating the sleeves. But upon trying it on, I can tell this is definitely going to have like a kind of wide flash dancey neckline, which I am completely here for. I love a sweater that just casually falls off the shoulder. I mean, this truly is just going to be a sweater that I chuck on around the house. I mean, I don't don't know, it might be a going out sweater. I could see it being that. Let me talk about the yarn. The yarn, as I mentioned, for the yoke is Spincycle. I purchased it from two separate sources because both the sources didn't have one of the colorways that I was looking for. So I did purchase from both Spincycle's website and BrooklynGeneral.com. My favorite Brooklyn LYS that I miss dearly. If you find yourself in Brooklyn, there are a lot of great yarn shops there. I mean, there's Woolen, there's String Thing Studio, Argyle, and then Brooklyn General. I mean, that place holds a very special place in my heart, and always happy to give them business. This colorway right here, the one that it starts out with, is Stay Ready. It's their most neutral colorway, where it has shades of whites, creams, grays, blacks, browns, and this aqua right here is called Deep Bump, and then this glorious bright yellow is Salty Dog. And the cool thing, the happy accident with these colorways is that Deep Bump, I don't know how well you can see this, but there is like a thread, a small faint hint of bright yellow throughout it. And then in Salty Dog right here, there's a faint hint of teal. So these two colorways complement each other so well. So yeah, I really, truly like the way that these colors are playing together. I was thinking about omitting the yellow altogether and just going with Deep Bump and Stay Ready, because I did order 2 skeins of the Deep Bump colorway just in case. But at the end of the day, I put it out to members of the YouTube channel and I said, hey, which combination should I go with? And the consensus was go for the yellow, just do it. And funnily enough, because there's something about the combination of like this dusty rose up here and a bright yellow. There's something about that colorway combination that speaks to my soul in a way. So, when I saw that these colorways together, I was just like, yes, it has to happen. The main color is actually a new to me yarn that I purchased while browsing Brooklyn General's website. And where's the skein of it? Where'd you go? Oh, I've heard of this brand, but I've never worked with it before. It's called Knitting for Olive. It's their heavy merino base. So it's 100% merino, worsted weight, I believe. And it's this beautiful mauve dusty rose colorway that I could not resist. And it's colorway 92259. Rose Clay is the actual name of it. I thought it would be perfect for this project, and the price point is actually really good. It's $11 US, and you get, let me see, it's a 50-gram skein, and you get 125 meters. I'm not sure what that is in yards. I will pop it in the down bar, but I'm sure it's not too far off. But yeah, so anyway, a really lovely yarn. I love working with it. It's not, I won't say it's buttered kittens. I mean, it is still soft and very, it feels nice next to the skin, but it has like this subtle toothiness to it that, I really like. So yeah, and I can tell, like, it's a very sturdy yarn, even knitting it up. It feels like really good workhorse yarn, which I'm always a fan of. And for those of you, I see you out there, those of you who appreciate seeing some floats. Let me show you my floats, because I got some floats. Oh goodness, here we go. That's what my floats look like. So good, right? Yeah. So anyway, that is where I am with my Easy V. So yeah, I think after I'm done separating the sleeves, I'm going to get back to work on my travel mode 2.0, and then, yeah, my Nightingale. I need to put a dent in that, because I brought it out of hibernation. I got pretty far on Sleeve Island. I mean, it's got to get finished. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I want to say about the Easy V. I think that's it. Thoroughly enjoying this pattern. It's just, kicked my knitting mojo back into gear. I feel it's so fun. It's such a fun pattern. And yeah, love it. Loving every stitch, as I usually say. I have no idea what's happening with my hair. I woke up like this. It's like some kind of, like some finger wave action happening that, I don't know, I kind of like it. I don't know what happened there, but anyway, we're just rolling with it today. So next up might come as a surprise because, as I mentioned, Halloween is upon us, and I am going to be making my Halloween costume. and I'm very, very excited about it. I have decided, I mean, in the past I mentioned that I was planning on doing a Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies costume. For the past couple of years, that was the plan, and it just never ended up coming to fruition. So that ship has sailed. I'm gonna let it go quietly into the night because I have a new idea. I have a new idea that I'm very excited about. And I don't know how many of you know of the movie called The Love Witch. It's a movie that came out in, I want to say, either 2016 or 17, and it looks like that it was done in the 1960s, just the whole aesthetic. It was shot on film, and I am obsessed with this movie. I don't know what else to say, but it's about a witch who, she's a love witch, or considers herself a love witch, and she casts spells to make men fall in love with her, and it just has really unfortunate consequences. So I'll leave it at that, but the costumes in this movie are just, oh my gosh, can't get enough of them. And I did a little research, and turns out the director, who is a woman, did an incredible job, and she actually made a lot of the costumes in the film and talked about it, and she shared some of the patterns that she used. So, I mean, it's a done deal for me. And while there were a bunch of costumes that I wanted to go with, I settled on the red dress that she wears in the opening scene. And I found the pattern online, and let me see, I'll get it right here. I found it on eBay, and I could only find 2, and thankfully both were in my size, because a lot of these patterns that were published in the 1960s, unlike today where you can buy a McCall's pattern or a Big 5 pattern, they come with all the sizes included. Back then in the 60s, you had to purchase your particular size for the most part. So I could only find 2, and this one seemed to be in the best condition, and it's a size 10, which is a 32.5-inch size bust. That's what we're working with here. And the only caveat is that the size 10, while it does have my bust size, the waist size is a size 24. I've got a size 26, but I have the book somewhere, but I believe it's Gertie's Guide to Better Sewing. Anyway, she has a really great article on sewing vintage patterns, and yeah, just altering the pattern to have my waist size should be a no-brainer. But here's the pattern in question. I'm going to be making this dress right here, but adding long sleeves. Given that information, it seems like I'm going to have to do a little altering to the waist and perhaps the bust line, because if you're not familiar with Big 5 patterns, typically they are drafted for B cups, and I am an A cup, if not smaller. So, at the very least, I'm going to have to just alter the waistline, possibly give myself an SBA for this pattern, a small bust adjustment, which I've done in the past. I don't know how effective or, correct I've done them, but there's always room for practice and growth. Am I right? So, yeah, we're gonna get back into garment sewing, and I'm actually really excited. It's gonna be quilting, not going anywhere, just taking a little break from quilting to focus on some garment sewing. But yeah, anyway, very, very excited about this pattern. The pieces are already cut out according to the description, so that will save me some time and energy. The fabric came in the mail. It's right here. It's bright tomato red. I don't know how well it flatters my complexion. I mean, yeah, we'll see. But anyway, this is the type of red that she was wearing in the movie, so I went with it. This fabric is a pont fabric, so a double knit. It's very thick polyester, let's be honest. Not the best quality. I mean, nothing that I would want to wear on a daily basis, but for a Halloween costume, it was inexpensive, and it seems like it's going to be easy to work with. So I'm very, very excited about that. I'll hold it up here so you can see. It's red. So a colorway that I truly never ever wear, but it's Halloween, so why not? The pattern calls for 3 yards. I got 3.5 because you can never, it's always good to have a little backup fabric. And yeah, so anyway. So that is the plan for Halloween. I'm going to be Elaine from The Love Witch. I'm even going to do the eyeshadow, the makeup, the hair. It's going to be fun, my friends. I don't even have a Halloween party to go to, but I'm purely doing this for the joy of it, for the fun of it, and sharing it on the gram as you do. If you want to see the process of me making this costume from start to finish, I am going to be vlogging about it for members. So if you, even for the base level, Mauve Hearts, I'm going to be sharing vlogs to that level as well. But yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I'm excited. Are you excited? Are you dressing up for Halloween? Let me know in the comments below. What are you going as? Are you making your costume? So what else? Yes, quilting, again, as I mentioned, taking a little break from that. You know, I have a couple of projects on the go that are kind of waiting in the wings. My peacock quilt still has not arrived from being long-armed at Missouri Store Quilt Company. You know, I haven't heard it's been a couple weeks now since I've gotten an update from them. But yeah, I think we're going on 7 or 8 weeks. I don't know. I'm hoping to get an update soon. But that I'm truly excited to get back. Bead weaving. There was a little incident, my friends. Yes, I know I mentioned how I was still, you know, playing around, still practicing, and how I was holding off on getting Miyuki beads, which are kind of the creme de la creme of the bead weaving world. They are really nice. I did find a website called artbeads.com, and they did have Miyuki beads, the Delica beads. They had some for a decent price. Like some of their beads can range from like $5.99 US. They had some available for about like $3.99 US for like a small little tube. So I did treat myself to some Delica beads. And please don't judge me. I know you are, but don't judge me. I got a lot. I did get a lot because I could not help myself. They were so pretty, and I needed to taste the rainbow. I mean, can you blame me? But these are, holy cow, guys. They are absolutely stunning, and I cannot wait to dip into these. I got a lot of muted shades, a lot of course, mauves, pinks, teals. I got oh, this one's so pretty. Let me see. It's gonna fall everywhere. But look how beautiful. They're like pearly, it's like a pearly sage color. And they glisten. It's like seashells. This one's really beautiful. This is an opaque pearl opalized old rose. Yeah. Can't stay away from the old rose colors. But, yes. So good. Anyway, I'll try and insert some B-roll so you can see what colors I got. They're just super pretty. I cannot resist. And, you know, yeah, honestly, I still don't know where this bead weaving thing is going, but it's what I needed in the moment when I was going through my schlump, and I, you know, plan on sitting down this weekend and making another beaded bracelet. It's just so fun and addicting to do, and, you know, now I feel even more motivated because I have all these beautiful beads to work with. I think I shall end things there. Thank you so much, as always, for hanging out with me. Again, if you're new here, doing the spiel, if you're new here and haven't already, feel free to like and subscribe down below. I'm putting out videos for your viewing pleasure every week. And until the next video, have an amazing weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye!